It starts with a rumble, distant, subtle. Birds go quiet, herds flee. The air smells wrong. And then, without warning, the earth opens. A blinding flash, a roar louder than anything humanity has ever heard. And then darkness. Yellowstone has erupted. Not a geyser, not a lava flow, a supervolcano. One of the most powerful forces on Earth has awakened, and it's not just a natural disaster, it's a planetary crisis, and it begins tomorrow. The ground swells. Pressure that's been building for hundreds of thousands of years is released in an instant. A column of ash, stone, and fire shoots 20 miles into the sky. The plume stretches across states. In hours, a mushroom cloud the size of a continent. In minutes, the American West is unrecognizable. Ash begins falling like snow. But this is no snowfall. It's razor sharp. It clogs lungs, blinds eyes, collapses rooftops. Boise, Salt Lake City, Denver, buried. Tens of thousands die in the first hour. Hundreds of thousands are cut off. Roads vanish. Power grids fail. And this is just the beginning. The eruption doesn't end in a day. Supervolcanoes don't work like that. For weeks, Yellowstone spews death into the sky. Every second, it hurls volcanic gases, sulfur dioxide, carbon dioxide, hydrochloric acid into the atmosphere. The skies darken, temperatures fall, and then, across the globe, the sun begins to disappear. A volcanic winter has begun. Within days, the ash cloud wraps around the planet. Sunlight is dimmed by up to 90%. Global temperatures plummet by several degrees. It doesn't sound like much until crops fail, ecosystems break, and growing seasons vanish. Iowa freezes in August. China sees summer snow. Monsoons stop. Deserts flood, rain turns acidic, photosynthesis slows, famine sets in, and the world starts to panic. Global supply chains collapse, grain reserves dwindle, food riots erupt. In wealthier nations, rationing becomes the norm. In poorer regions, people begin to starve, borders close, governments fall, some countries hoard, others invade, and all of it happens beneath a gray, silent sky. But the destruction doesn't stop at the surface. Air travel halts, jet engines choke on ash, airports become graveyards for grounded planes. Communication satellites go offline. Dust from the eruption begins to interfere with radio signals. A technological blackout begins. The U.S. economy crashes. Trillions are lost. The Midwest, once America's breadbasket, is buried beneath meters of ash. The Mississippi becomes a dead artery. Insurance can't cover this. Aid can't reach this. There's no disaster plan for the end of agriculture. Scientists had always known Yellowstone would erupt again, but not now. Not like this. They had models, simulations, but nothing could prepare them for reality. And as the days stretch into months, humanity begins to ask the question no one wants to face. Is this how it ends? But even in catastrophe, life clings to possibility. Underground farms, hydroponics, and lab-grown meat become vital. Global cooperation emerges, not from unity, but from desperation. Technology adapts. Satellites are redesigned to pierce the ash layer. Massive engineering projects attempt to reflect sunlight back to Earth. In bunkers, underground cities stir to life. Not glamorous arcs, but harsh, efficient sanctuaries, where humanity's flickering flame is kept alive. Yet the world above changes. With less sunlight, ice sheets begin to expand. Sea levels drop. A new ice age threatens. Species go extinct. Forests die. But others, bacteria, fungi, scavengers, thrive in the dark, acidic world. A new food web begins to form. And what about Yellowstone itself? Once the eruption ends, perhaps after months, the caldera will collapse. A vast, smoking crater will mark the sky. Life won't return there for centuries. But even from death, new landscapes will rise. Hot springs, mineral lakes, strange new ecologies. The Earth forgets slowly, but it always rebuilds. For humanity, the real question isn't survival, it's memory. Will we remember the warning sign, the overdue tremors, the steam vents? Will we finally listen to the slow, quiet voice of geology? Because Yellowstone doesn't erupt out of nowhere. It breathes, it shifts, it warns, and though it sleeps now, tomorrow, it could wake. So the question becomes, if the sky turned black, if the land fell silent, if ash began to fall like snow, would we be ready? Because beneath our feet is not just solid ground, it's a ticking bomb, and one day, it will go